Mira Business FM, where business comes to talk.
It's the morning drive with me, Sam Elliott, here at Mira Business FM. And Dubai's fitness industry is changing the focus, and I think it's an international phenomenon as well, moving away from quick transformations towards a more long-term health, longevity, sustainable lifestyle habit, particularly for families, for busy families. And one company that is, here's the phrase, leaning hard into that shift is 365 Dubai. Joining us this morning, Sam Frohlich is the head of operations. He's the PT manager at the company. More than a decade of experience in the industry, 11 years Dubai. Sam, you've got a front row view of the market. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you, Tim. Nice to meet you too.
Good to have you here. Now, am I right in saying, making that statement straight away, that we're seeing a shift away from this kind of quick fix fitness stuff that's traditionally been a big part of the industry? And if I am, what is it that's driving the change?
Yeah, I would say you're pretty much correct. I think when I first came here, there was either this people not doing anything, or we saw this massive, I would say, quick fix into trying to be as lean as possible, bodybuilding style, which still exists, which is absolutely fine.
Sure.
It was like those two either ends of the spectrum. As we've seen more companies, more information out there, I think a lot of people have tried a lot of different programs, a lot of different trainers, and maybe are slightly fed up with being sold, let's say, a quick fix. And actually, maybe as they get older especially, they're just wanting something that works initially and they can keep going. So yeah, I would say that's correct.
It seems much more to me now like it's, the gym is just, an average part of your day. It's like, you have your gym, your morning coffee, you get on the bus, you go to work. It's just kind of part of things. Whereas, I mean, I don't know. I did a gym circuit in about 1990 and thought, I'm never doing that again, and managed not to. And I should have done it. But that my mentality was very different to mentalities now.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. Obviously, from our point of view as a coach, it'd be great if a gym was always part of someone's daily routine.
Yeah.
And, we don't achieve anything to do with our fitness, health, longevity without it becoming part of your routine, part of your daily, part of your weekly routine. So, yeah, there's definitely been a shift on helping more people. And you just joked about it, but it's true. Some people did one group class 10 years ago and never went back. And actually, how can we create an environment which is maybe a bit more welcoming, not just trying to smash someone, so to speak, or beast mode, which I don't believe in, and actually, okay, this is actually kind of a nice place to be. We've got a nice community here. Oh, I'd like to come back, maybe.
I think for a lot of people, Sam, gyms can be a little bit intimidating.
Of course,
I do genuinely go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, and I've had a lot of surgery over the last few years. So the area that I have an issue with is my core. So I tend to, at the moment, I'm cycling quite a lot, and I do some rowing, and I'm not, but I find it quite intimidating when I've got the power lifters in there, and you hear hear it hit the floor, and I'm a bit like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But I can see why people can be reticent. Let's put it that way.
No, you're right. And what's fun is that I've been training for 20 years now. So I've been in and out of gyms, but let's say I'm in a different country and I went into a gym, I can still feel that straight away.
Really?
So sometimes it reminds me that actually, because some people feel this every day, every week coming into our gym. So I totally get that. It's just an unfamiliar environment, like probably anywhere. And as when you've got the mixture of people doing different things, and which is why now we're seeing probably a bit more, let's say, semi-private training or personal training, either way, focused on more specific populations. So again, the powerlifters do their thing, maybe the bodybuilders do their thing. Yeah. They can mix, but sometimes there's now more specific places for them, so everyone can kind of feel comfortable amongst other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, mine's just a community gym, so I'm there, and there's all kinds of people doing all kinds of exercises, and I'm not sure most of them are legit, but you know what I mean. But it's heightened, isn't it? And your point about creating a welcoming space, a comfortable space is really important, I think, from a business perspective, because it's heightened by the fact that, you're aware of how other people look, and it's, oh, that guy looks really ripped, and I don't quite know how to use that machine. And you have to kind of get that across to people in a way that you're not overselling to them. I mean, I'm reaching here because I'm not an expert on any of this by any means. So, from a business and an operations perspective, this kind of cultural shift away from the quick fix thing, has it changed the way that fitness companies run, the approach that you guys take?
So obviously when I first started, I just worked for myself. So there were a few PT companies around.
Right.
They kind of disintegrated a bit, and we just had, from people I know, a whole group of great PTs just kind of working alone and almost like competing with each other, maybe not necessarily in a good way. There's enough people to go around, but everyone was just looking out for themselves. And in the last few years, not just us, but other companies have kind of built together. Like a couple of those PTs have now joined forces and just thought, we can actually, we're better together, is what I'm trying to say. So from a operations standpoint, I've only been operating, let's say, the last few years. It's now, we're bringing in people from all different backgrounds, people that might know me or might know someone else or might know other trainers that we have. And we're all now trying to come together and build something great. And actually, it's probably now more that than, there's, of course, freelance trainers, but these seem to be the bigger movements now, which is easy to bring people in, and obviously the community focus as well, which I'm sure we'll talk more about. So from an operations standpoint, it's been easier in terms of you've got more sources of people to help people bring in. But on the flip side, there's so many more gyms, there's so many more programs, everything like that. Like most industries here, it's super competitive. So now, the service needs to be next level, because any maybe slight slip or someone's not slightly happy, there's 10 gyms probably within a 10-minute facility of them. So you see what I mean? So that actually makes it harder too.
So you need to not be working in silos. You need to be working in a more structured way, a more community-minded way, I suppose. So is that the biggest pressure? Is that the biggest challenge that you face at the moment?
It's definitely one of them.
Okay.
And we're super happy with building a community, and you see other clubs, run clubs, stuff like that not necessarily in the gym, which have built a massive community. But you're right, it's now a whole of a lot extra, whereas I just used to worry about, let's say you were my client, I'm just worrying about you. Now I'm worried about the 100 people we have. Are they all okay? Can we do something together on a weekend? Can we do something that builds a community? Because as soon as someone doesn't feel, part of it, that's when someone could fall off. Whereas before it would be, oh, Tim, maybe you're just not happy with the way I train, or you're not getting results, you're going somewhere else. Now it's like, hi, Tim, which is a great thing as well, because if you get it right, that's what keeps people there. But now people are looking for that extra thing now. It's no good now just to be, this is a cool gym, I like my training session.
Right. Okay. No, I'm with you. And you want the next generation of trainer. You want it to be a habit that people have, that they keep up. Well, back to that word sustainability, aren't we? But in a slightly different manner, I suppose. You've got to keep up. If you want sustainable habits and you want long-term results rather than the quick fix.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Adaptability, I guess, must be kind of important. I mean, since COVID, we've seen a real rise in, obviously, online workouts, hybrid kind of membership. So are you finding that members of your facilities are looking for flexibility to be able to kind of mix the in-person stuff, be able to do things online? Is that demand rising? Is that still even a thing after COVID?
I think, if anything, obviously it became huge. It's probably...
I mean, it was gigantic.
Yeah, of course. It was gigantic.
Yeah.
I mean, probably here the fact that, obviously, in this country, we kind of got out of our lockdowns a bit quicker than other countries. So, people were then maybe not eager to go back to the gyms, but they've probably got back a bit earlier than other countries. So, and, the online thing was massive, and it's created this niche. Like, I've coached people online for years, so it's nice to have that option, but if anything, it's probably diminished slightly because the community aspect has now been even bigger, and the group training. And in terms of that hybrid, like the apps and everything like that, most fitness companies would have. It's not such a stick out thing anymore. Does that make sense? So, yeah, 5, even just before COVID, someone's got their app. They're not just sending me a workout plan on a Word document. Well, I did do that 10 years ago, but before, when the apps got much better like they are now, that's like just basic level now. So it's, people are still looking for that sense of community. And again, we've seen that with loads more other clubs, like use paddle as an example. I mean, there's just the amount of courts there are, and people build a community now because they all go and play paddle together, for example.
It's a remarkable thing, paddle, though. I don't know where that came from. There's another one as well now, pickleball.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to live and say this, I could be completely wrong. I think paddle started in South America, and I always thought pickleball was more the American version. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It could be.
I could be completely wrong there, yeah. Look, but either way, it's blown up, which is great. Like I always want, as a coach, obviously believe in the gym, or believe in some form of resistance training using weights. It's great for longevity. People think about it just looking lean and shredded, but that doesn't, that's neither here nor there. As someone ages, you're looking at things like bone health, knocking back osteoporosis, just being more strong, especially when you've got kids. I've got 2 boys, so all these things actually matter sustainably. That's why resistance training should always be part. But the fact we have more clubs that do other things that help people stay, if someone's playing paddle 3 times a week who then did nothing before, surely that's only a benefit.
Well, we think so. I mean, I was going to ask you about longevity, actually, but I'll throw this in now. I mean, we hear the term a lot. We hear, terms like wellness, and longevity is the term at the moment. And it's important. So you would encourage resistance training like that. But what is, as a term, what does it mean in practical everyday terms with regard to your fitness training?
So for me, it's the holistic mixture of health, physical fitness, mobility, sleep, nutrition that you've managed to formulate and structure into your daily life so that over the long term, it just becomes second nature.
Right.
That's how I define it.
Okay.
Because all these things come together, and this doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't happen quick. Somehow by yourself or with help, you've somehow formulated all these things that day to day, as you kind of said at the beginning, it's like just having your coffee or doing your teeth. And the longer you can, back to keeping people community, people think that, I did great for 2 months, that's it. Actually, it's not. It can take 3, 6, even a year to formulate these habits. And then look at someone 5, I know people who, let's say I started with, who now still train, like 10 years ago, who were my first client, who now still do it. That's a long-term transformation. Yeah. It's not that someone just trained for 3 months, I went off for 5 years. That's then not. You see what I mean?
Well, this is the difference between, really making it part of your life and part of your mindset.
Correct.
And not. It's like somebody saying, I stopped smoking for 3 years. And I always think, well, you didn't, did you? It's that kind of mentality that I suppose you have to, and this is one of the things that you have to get through to people as well, I suppose. I mean, how do you do that? You've got really busy people coming to you, I guess, maybe early in the morning or late at night after a long day, before a long day. How do you get across the encouragement and the enthusiasm and make it interesting? What methods do you use?
So I think there's 2 sides. The first one, which you just touched on, is mindset.
Right.
Because people will come in thinking that I've got to do everything at once. I've got to make all these 50 changes at once, get completely overwhelmed, and then drop off.
Right.
So firstly, it's from the start, this isn't going to happen straight away. Then it's just taking what obstacles you have and trying to find solutions. But it could be the most simple thing.
Right.
If you're sitting here and you're not drinking enough water, could you have a bottle of water on your desk? Like, you're already sitting here. So we've already removed the obstacle. I'm not telling you to walk to the shop and go and get a 5-litre jug of water. I'm just saying, can you have a glass of water here? Something very simple. Again, being a parent, it's like, I'm a big fan, especially with my boys. Okay, one's only 7 months, so he's not fully eating yet, but he's getting there. But the other one's 4.5. Like, we've always treated it like meals. He basically eats similar to what we eat. So I'm trying to remove that obstacle of, mum, dad making 4 different meals. Can we try to create, they just make one big meal? I'm fine. If our kid eats at a different time, that's fine. But I will then now remove the obstacle of time, effort, which again, in Dubai, a lot of people have even less time now.
Sure.
So again, just taking, if you came to me, what's the biggest problem standing in the way? You say this, this, and this. How can we just remove those? And it's not going to be everything at once. It could just be 1 or 2 things at the start. Then that makes you feel like, oh, okay. I'm believing in the process. Once you get belief in someone, because you can't rely on motivation. You come to us and you're like, I'm super motivated. Okay, great. But 3 days later, your kid's been up all night. You're not going to be motivated at 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's a good
So
point.
you can't just rely on motivation.
Yeah.
You know, I'm be honest, I'm not motivated to trade every single day. I've been doing it for 20 years. Some days I really can't be bothered. But because it's just been built over that many years, again, I just know I feel good. It's just part of my day. So yeah, hopefully that answered the question.
No, you did actually, and I like that because it's very honest. You know, removing obstacles is such an important thing. I actually felt a bit guilty. I didn't have a bottle of water next to me while you were saying that as well.
I saw that.
But it sounds like smart parenting to me. But you know, again, this is not difficult, is it? This is kind of common sense stuff. If you're like, oh, it's too hard to do it, well, make it easier. And only you can change that as well. It kind of comes from within, as motivated as you are. Let me ask you a little bit about tech in the industry, because we've all got smartwatches, we've all got apps, everybody's wearing a fitness band of some description these days. What's that been like for the industry?
On the whole, it's beneficial.
Because you've been there since there were no fitness bands, and now
everyone's got one.
It's weird if you don't have one.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like I take mine off at night, but I feel almost naked. If it wasn't on in the day, like let's say it broke, I feel very, very strange.
Really?
So I think, on the whole, they're great. And we always, tell my clients to go and at least get a basic one just to start tracking your steps. Just something very similar. Don't need to get super fancy or, without naming brands, super expensive ones. It doesn't need to be like that. But obviously on the flip side, you, again, look at the person. Do we want to overwhelm them? Some people, like me, like to geek out on the data. But some people could see all that and be like, oh, no. And actually, did they need the watch to tell them their sleep was absolute rubbish? No, they probably could have known anyway because they're tired every day and only sleep 4 hours. So some of that I could have just highlighted. So again, it depends on the person. But overall, I think it's a massive benefit, these bands and the data. But like anything, it's also, it's all well and good having the data. You still need to do something about it.
If you don't do anything with that data, no, you're right. But in the end, this will contribute to longevity in that it will contribute to wellness.
Some of them are so advanced that tell you like your ages, and I think some of them are in blood pressure, and they're probably working on things that you could connect to like your doctor if there's a blood, which can only be beneficial, which is crazy. But
there's all sorts of things that we haven't even begun to imagine yet, I think. Let me ask you, I mean, you're seeing much more of a community focus in gyms, i.e., bringing lots of people together for different activities, whether the fitness activities or not, I guess, as well. Are you starting to see more employers and professionals to viewing health and fitness differently than they used to? And I mean employers and professionals rather than just professionals. Is it changing?
So to be honest, I think there's still a lot of work to be done. I'll explain. So I've been in some offices who have just, maybe they're new and they built a gym in it. Great, that's absolutely fantastic. I think what we're still battling with, and I know people who've really tried to go into corporate and try to make changes there. I don't know many people who've actually succeeded in it, maybe 1 or 2 small companies. I think the issue is just the state of the region in Dubai, that everything here is, let's be honest, work. The work balance, lifestyle is, let's be honest, still not great. A lot of people accept, work till 2 a.m, like it's normal. But if you say that to people like in the UK or Europe, they're like, why? A lot of people, I just didn't have time for lunch today. Great. So I only slept 4 hours, I didn't have time for lunch today. So, and the problem is, with such a competitive job market, everyone knows, if you're going to, let's say, kick off because you didn't have time for lunch today, there are probably 50 other people waiting in your place. So, employers, I get it, profit, success obviously matters. The whole irony of it is that I truly believe the link between a more healthy person, not how they look, but healthy in terms of their mindset, their energy, their productivity, the more healthy they are, the more productive they're going to be in the workplace anyway. So then if you look at that from the knock-on effect from success, profits, whatever you're going to look at, it's only going to be beneficial. But it's still, I think there's still a lot of work to be done. And, again, removing those obstacles. If you're on a meeting, can you take the meeting while walking, for example? You see what I mean? Can you do something at your desk? And even these companies with the fancy gyms, I've been in a few, just because they're there doesn't mean anyone's actually using them. You've probably got 3 people use them who, let's be honest, if the gym wasn't there, would just use another gym anyway.
More than likely.
Yeah, and what's better off is that, the walks every day in meetings, or, we created which I'm sure some companies do, a work paddle club, or a work walking club, or a running club, something they're doing weekly. That's probably more beneficial than actually having the gym in there.
Okay, so it's
that
not.
kind of makes sense.
It's more. It's encouraging people rather than you can't enforce it, can you?
No.
You've got to encourage people to get involved, and there's a lot of work to do. We're out of time, Sam. Unfortunately, it goes by like that. We'll need to get you back. I want to get some more thoughts. But for now, Sam Frohlich is Head of Operations, PT Manager at 365 Dubai. Hopefully, Dubai's getting healthier. That's where we want to get to. But good to meet you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
nice
you
to meet
coming
you. Thank you.
This is Mirror Business FM.